And they didn't always get to the finals, but that was the matchup that you were looking for as a fan. And I think right now as a fan, as Karan was smiling and saying, this is what you look for. You can't wait a week from now. This is going to be a long week, but it'll be a lot of talk, a lot of anticipation, and it should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. A lot of talk, a lot of storylines, and just the matchups, looking at, from the point guard position with Steph and Kyrie. Can't wait for that. You look at the other positions. I mean, the matchup that everybody want to see is KD and LeBron. Are they going to guard each other? Are they, it's the game that we wanted to see. It's the matchup we wanted to see, and we finally get our dream come true. So let's see it.
It's interesting when something is broadcast like an interview, it lives forever, and such is the case for Draymond Green, who early in the year, talked about this moment, getting back to the finals, and if indeed it was going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. So let's go back in the vault, and here's what Draymond Green had to say about the prospect of facing Cleveland again.
If Cleveland comes out of the East, I want to destroy Cleveland. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But I also know that there are steps to get to that point. And if and when we get to that point, I want to annihilate them.
Once again, a man who is very clear about his thoughts, Draymond Green. And that really does say a lot. There are a lot of bad feelings from Draymond Green and the Warriors after losing the 3-1 lead in last year's finals, Grant. So, you know what? They've been thinking about that a long time.
And I think those bad feelings go both ways. I mean, you saw last year when Cleveland was down. I mean, they had to fight to get back in it. There were some moments, some stare downs, some things that occurred. And so when you play for it all and you do it, consecutive seasons and you get in some hard-fought battles, it can get personal. And so Draymond Green, obviously, he probably took it personal because of the suspension or of not playing in Game 5 and the momentum changing. So he's been living with that for an entire year, as has his team. So they're thinking about that, trust me. And the fact that Durant's there and it's a new team and so, new opportunity for him. So Golden State will be ready. And Karan, you made a great point. LeBron showed a lot of respect for them in his interviews.
Absolutely.
Because he knows that these guys, as he said, they are juggernauts. They are a tough team. Cleveland's got to be at their best against this great ball club.
So now he joins a very exclusive list of players to get to at least 7 straight NBA Finals, and he's the only non-Celtic to do it. Look at that, you got to go back to the glory days of the Boston Celtics when these guys dominated. And to do this with 2 different teams in the modern era, Karan, I mean, this is an amazing accomplishment, and you consider the fact that it was the whole going back to Cleveland dynamic as well, where you basically promised that team that you would get a title and delivered for a city.
Absolutely, and just delivering on this promise has been nothing short of just amazing. And you looked at what he's been able to accomplish in Miami, coming back, getting to the finals, falling a little short, bouncing back, coming back down from 3-1 and delivering on the promise, and then taking this team back healthy this year, reloaded and ready to compete at a high level. This speaks volumes, so I'm happy to see this. This is the matchup that we all want to see. And, you got to tip your hat off to LeBron James. He just continued to raise the bar.
He also passed Manu Ginobili for 3rd now, all-time postseason three-pointers made with 319. Just FYI.
And I think as he continues to go through his career, he'll continue to pass many of these records, break these records. I mean, just his, the fact that he's still relatively young, he's got a lot of playoff mileage underneath him, and he stayed healthy. I mean, that in itself has been remarkable. No major injuries of any sort, and he's had these long, lengthy seasons and putting up big numbers and just doing everything throughout his career. So it's really pretty remarkable. And as Karan said, to have 7 consecutive finals and to leave a team that was in the finals to go to a team that wasn't that good
and go there again
the following year. I mean, that is really spectacular.
Yeah. Here's the final schedule, and once again, Game 1 starts Thursday, June 1st at Oracle. Game 2 will be Sunday, and then the next 2 will be Wednesday and Friday at the Q in Cleveland. But it was interesting there. I thought LeBron, went back in time and talked about growing up and being a guy who so admired Michael Jordan. Of course, he wears the number 23, and they said he wore the sleeve on the knee of the shorts so you could see the other shorts, and started shooting fadeaways and talked about not bald yet, but he said he may get there post-career. But it's interesting. This whole thing has been, as much as LeBron likes to get the teammates involved, he's the ultimate sharing guy. It's been so much about LeBron, and will be again as we head to Oracle, because he is that guy, and he is the guy that has now brought along as a Pied Piper the likes of Deron Williams and Kyle Korver along with him to their first finals.
You know, you said it best. He's been the guy. And it's been pretty amazing that he's been the guy really since he's been 15 years old, and how he's been able to handle being the guy and the responsibility that comes with that. And we've watched him grow and evolve and become a champion. You know, and he really hasn't made any mistakes, other than you could debate his decision to go to Miami and how that was handled. But other than that, you know, he has done it the right way. He's played the right way. He stands, you know, he has substance about him as a player and as a human being. And so, you know, we're lucky as a league to have somebody as the face of the league in a LeBron James. And to hear him talk about Michael Jordan, you know, not only influenced LeBron, he influenced us. I mean, we're a little bit older than him, and just to, you know, that for him, I'm sure to be able to reflect at that moment, knowing that one of his heroes he surpassed, I'm sure it was a pretty special moment for him.
I wonder, Karan, what it's like to live in LeBron's world where everything is so closely scrutinized that even from game to game, you know, you're this, but then if you don't have a great game, you're this. It's like this constant kind of being bannered around as the best player in the world. It must be interesting to be LeBron sometimes.
Absolutely, and you know, I just want to congratulate him, you know, on his amazing accomplishment, an amazing milestone, and you know, the humble don't stumble. And he did a great job of stepping up to that podium and just, you know, embracing the moment and giving so much praise to, you know, the GOAT, Michael Jordan. And, you know, this is what you touched on, Grant. You know, we all, you know, had hoop dreams and Michael Jordan's playground and had the tape rolling. And that's where we, you know, learned to love the game, and we try to emulate him as much as possible. And, you know, I love the way that LeBron is using his platform. You know, he's inspiring so many kids out there, you know, away from the game of basketball, you know, off the court. You know, he's doing a lot of things in the Cleveland community. So, you know, I tip my hat off to him, man, and just keep striving, man. Congratulations.
What are you most anticipating for this third straight matchup between these teams, Grant?
Well, I mean, if you go back to last year, and I think the same thing will apply this year, it's the chess match. It's the adjustments, you know. The first two games last year, it felt like Golden State was in control. They went to Cleveland, and after Game 4, we're up 3-1, and you know, I was in the building, and it felt like, you know, it was over. You know, it felt like it was over, and so, and then Cleveland, sort of making the necessary adjustments, going to Golden State, backs against the wall, and winning that series, taking back the momentum. You know, I think it's going to be like that. I think you're going to have both teams' greatness on display. But the adjustments, and also who's going to step up? Who are going to be the guy? Who's going to be the Andre Iguodala from 2 years ago? You know, who's going to be that one person that coming off the bench that no one expected? We had a little bit of that here in this game. Deron Williams had a great second quarter, which was a huge lift, although they were blowing them out during that time. Right. But who are the complementary players that are going to step up and make a difference in this game? So a lot of storylines, a lot of things that are going on that we all